Welcome to the Future Christian Podcast, your source for insights and ideas on how to lead your church into the 21st century. At the Future Christian Podcast, we talk to pastors, authors, and other faith leaders for helpful advice and practical wisdom to help you and your community of faith walk boldly into the future. Now, here's your host, Lauren Richmond Jr.
Welcome to the Future Christian Podcast. This is Lauren Richmond Jr., and today we're welcoming Ulysses Allen to the show. Ulysses is the Director of Recruitment and Retention and a candidate for the Doctor of Ministry in Homiletics at Phillips Theological Seminary in Tulsa, Oklahoma. He enjoys helping prospective students map out their journey in theological education in the Christian tradition. His short-term goal is to complete his Doctor of Ministry with the emphasis in homiletics by the spring of 2025, and his long-term goal is to continue his pursuit in higher education as a director, start a nonprofit organization geared toward athletic chaplaincy, and become a senior pastor of a church. His philosophical mantra is that it's better to serve than to be served. All right, welcome to the Future Christian Podcast. This is Lauren Richmond Jr., and today I am pleased to be joined by Reverend Ulysses Allen. Thanks so much for being here. Anything else you'd like our listeners to know about you?
Well, thank you, Lauren. Yeah, it's just one of the biggest things is I'm a high-spirited guy. I live life like, high speed and low drag with some terms that I learned in as I did basic training for the National Guard. Stay alert, stay alive, just high spirited, it's a great day to be alive. So, very positive and high spirited. And that's what I, want people to know. I bring energy. You have to bring it each and every day, especially in this line of work.
Let's bring that energy.
Yes.
That's good. That's good. I need the energy today. I'm feeling a little worn out. So bring it to me for this interview. Ulysses, talk about your faith journey, what that looked like for you in the past and what it looks like today.
Yeah. So growing up in New Iberia, Louisiana, being raised Catholic, Roman Catholic, Catholicism is huge in Southern Louisiana. And just matriculating in, as I got older, I went through the confirmation catechism. But then once I entered college and really was able to move away from home, that's when I really started to look at more of a Baptist, non-denominational type spiritual experience. Mm-hmm. And it was in 2007 that I accepted my calling into ministry. And it was just, I remember it around Easter. So that really brought me to a place where I did a lot of reading, a lot of research, and a lot of trying to understand a greater understanding of just the scripture, the sacred text. Mm-hmm. So, and what it meant to be a true follower of Christ and salvation and understanding the power of the name of Jesus Christ, So that was that. And then with that, currently now, as I've grown in ministry, grown in life, and at 2023, I've seen what I've seen. Still one, strong on the foundation of Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior. Strong on understanding and really engaging the scripture. So one, a follower understands that, Jesus is my Savior and wanting to, to unpack scripture. So that's kind of where my faith journey is at.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing. Yeah. So what's a spiritual practice that's kind of meaningful for you?
One, I think a lot is prayer. I catch myself praying throughout the day.
Yeah.
I pray with my young boys, Ethan and Eli. I try to pray with them every morning. Just those words of prayer and affirmation, just speaking life into each and every situation. So that's a big part of my spiritual practice: prayer, affirmation, speaking life.
Yeah, I appreciate you saying that. I really try to myself too. Just you mentioned kind of being prayer constantly throughout the day. I found that I don't want to say helpful. I'm just thinking back to a situation I heard about, a tragedy, someone in the hospital, a tough situation here just just a couple hours ago, and obviously there's nothing I can do, right? But I took comfort in being able to say a prayer for them right then, even in my head.
Right.
I shouldn't get into too much here before we get into our main content, but Ulysses, it sounds like you're a person who appreciates prayer. What do you think? It seems like prayer can often be discouraged or forgotten about in mainline contexts. What do you think? Any thoughts what that's about? How we could encourage more prayer?
Yeah, I've given a lot of thought of, especially working in, growing up. I mean, working in schools. That's been pretty much my background, working in schools and understanding, separation of church and state. And then looking at places where, not to force anyone, a particular denomination, or force them to pray the way that you pray. And just for me, I wish there was a space where you could openly say, look, at this hour, at this point, no matter what denomination and what religion, whatever you feel, whoever you feel is your higher being, is an opportunity to speak with that higher being throughout your day. At your work, wherever you are. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Be encouraged to do that. And I think, hopefully, I believe that, that's the way you can do that without offending someone else. Because sometimes I know for myself, when I'm having a day and just having that moment to just sit down and be like, all right, Lord, just help me. Help me make it through the next 3 hours. Help me make it through this next meeting. Lord, thank you for, such a wonderful day today. I feel rejoiced. I feel rejuvenated. I feel energized. Things happen no matter how your work is. And me personally, being in the service business, where a lot of what I do is serving others and asking them, like, hey, what can I do to help you? I need that encouragement sometimes to just to be poured back in myself, to where I can stay sane and stay excited. And it's like, all right, I want to help you, instead of being like, you know what? Nah. So I wish we could, Lauren, I wish we could find places to just, have an opportunity to just openly pray, and not anyone feel offended. And it doesn't matter what denomination you are, to openly pray and to just, sometimes cleanse your body of some of the daily frustration, and get that monkey off your back so that you can charge on and finish the day. I just feel, when I'm prayed up, worshiped up, and praised up, that I have a better day. And then people around me have better days, because I want to give more. I want to encourage more. But when I'm feeling pain and feeling frustrated, all I think about giving pain and frustration.
Yeah. That's good stuff there. It's good stuff.
Yes.
Well, thanks for engaging me with that. So, Ulysses, you'll have to help me out with your title here. Ulysses works for my alma mater, Phillips Seminary in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And a full disclosure for our listeners here, I sound like NPR here. Phillips is a sponsor of the show. But give us your title there at Phillips.
Yes. My title here at Phillips is the Director of Recruitment and Retention.
Great.
At Phillips Theological Seminary.
Yeah. So, I think, and I'm of the opinion that, obviously there's a lot in flux. And I'm sure you're well aware that I'm sure you all have those discussions at Phillips, about the changing nature of church and theological education. So I wanted to bring Ulysses on the show just to talk about some of these trends that we're seeing. So I think I kind of told you I was going to have to ask some hard questions here. So this is probably the first one hard question I need to ask. I have an MDiv from Phillips, and I'm really appreciative of that. I loved my time there. Like, I still have, you can see behind me, Ulysses Cannon video feed. Like, all these books, most of these books are still from my seminary days. Really value the education there. I was really fortunate, even still, where I didn't have to take out a huge student loan debt load. Thankful because of some generosity from folks at Phillips and other resources. So it's a long way of saying, like, I'm not anti-seminary in any way. That being said, I've also, because of the changing nature of church careers and nonprofit work, that I've sort of wondered, maybe it's in times of, like you talked about, when I'm feeling beat down and defeated, that I've sort of wondered, like, why did I go to seminary? Like, was it a good career investment? Would I have been better off doing something else with those 3-4 years of my life with that money? So a real hard question off the top here for you. Like, when you're talking to people at conferences or at events, like, why seminary? What do you tell them? Like, this is why seminary still matters despite all those challenges.
Right. So, Lauren, I will, acknowledge and I understand, what you're saying. And sometimes just like why, why seminary? Why spend this money, do an 82-hour program for a master's degree when you feel it's a strong potential that you could be a doctor doing 82 hours after a bachelor's,
Right.
So to answer your question, why seminary? So with seminary is a purpose, it's a calling, and I can say that many degrees are purpose driven, it's a call, but I know for sure that seminary is a purpose and a calling. So for anyone who is why seminary, someone who's looking to say that in my life that I'm looking right in aspects of lay or full-time ministry, pulpit supply, or even community outside the walls of the church, or someone who say I'm really looking to do some nonprofit, there's a great opportunity to obtain this seminary degree, and as you could say, a master's in divinity, which is the largest degree program, mostly in the longest degree. And why? Because one, you look at ways of formation, right? As we matriculate in life, as we grow older, we look at ways of how are we forming? How is our formation in life? Seminary allows you to engage not only texts when it comes down to biblical interpretation, exegetical texts of what many people have considered to be their foundation in life, the Holy Bible or the spirituality, right? Here at this Christian seminary. Also, you look at, practical theology. Also, you look at just general theology, and you look at, conflict resolution. It was a lot of things that in my degrees that I received through health education, health sciences, that I didn't receive until I received the Master of Divinity. One, it allowed me to find out and understand who am I better. You're in a classroom and one is, all right, write a paper about your spiritual beginning. Write a paper about where you are today compared to where you were 10, 12 years ago. Most times you won't do that if you're pursuing an accounting degree. You won't receive that if you're pursuing a health education degree. Also in classes of going over, saying constructive theology and looking at a theologian from the past and the way that they analyze not only scripture and text, but analyze the culture of what they were in. And then you take that and add it to your culture. Okay, what do we understand about humanity from times in the past to times now, people, and how can we live in and grow within each other? I think seminary provides you with those type of foundations to engage tough texts, tough scripture, to engage the most difficult thing in anyone's life is themselves. Understanding who you truly are is probably one of the most difficult things in life. And then once as seminarian, you start to engage that and you learn that. So that's why I believe seminary is still important. Formation, belonging, getting with others who are going through the same journey. And honestly, it's a spiritual awakening in all of our lives.
Yeah, I'm writing that down. Understanding who you are is one of the hardest things in life. That's a good quote right there. It's true.
Yes, sir.
Talk about talk about, why you've obviously been at Phillips here for a while. When did you start? You started around when I graduated, right? 2013, 2012?
No, so I started school in 2010 and I graduated in 2015.
Okay, so
then I came back as the recruiter, just a recruiter in 2018. And I've been at Phillips. And I'll be honest with you, part of it is the love that I have for Phillips because of my intersection in life where I met deeper understanding of the theological education and Christian tradition, engaging that at Phillips. Coming into the seminary, which I was like, I heard stories. Don't lose your religion. Don't go there and people gonna, teach you stuff. You're gonna become an atheist, agnostic. You are gonna be a non-believer. So I came in close, and I came in very dogmatic, but also biased. And it took professors like Dr. Brandon Scott to push that, to really push my Jesus, because I came in with, hey, the reverence of Jesus in my life was don't touch that. Don't play with that. Don't even ask me to think about it. It's Jesus. That's all I need to say, but it was push. Now, of course, for me, the benefit was I fell even more in love with what I was taught and what I read and what I learned about Jesus Christ and what it means to me. And Phillips became that place to where I had some of the greatest awakening in my life. And as a minister at Metropolitan Baptist Church, which we call the Met Church now, as I was serving there and then serving people and finding that, one, the confidence that I know that I've been called to serve. I've been called to preach. I've been called to teach. I've been called to walk with people in some of their toughest life moments. So not only did seminary prepare me for that, but seminary at Phillips Theological Seminary prepared me for that. And it just stapled in my heart a love, because I was able to go and be at the bedside of families at their toughest time. I won't go through any stories, but just families, you get a call and the family have lost a loved one. And you go there, and as a minister, by engaging seminary, by engaging all of the classes, learning that sometimes you don't have an answer.
Yeah.
So don't pretend. Just sit there and be present.
Yeah.
Just sit there, be present. But all alone inside of me, I'm praying. I'm asking God to heal, to help, to cover this family. But God is not giving me answers. So I can't answer. But if I wasn't confident in who I am and what I experienced through my seminary journey, I would go there trying to provide answers to questions above me. But because I'm confident to know that, hey, it's okay if I don't have an answer. I don't know why, your loved one passed away in this type of way. I don't. But I'm here. I'm present. So yeah, seminary and Phillips, it's just been a great love for me. And I've witnessed great growth. I've witnessed, times where there's been setbacks, but just standing on, your faith and the promises of what you believe, and things you've learned from a place like this. So it's very near and dear to my heart.
Yeah. I like what you say there about confident. I think most people would think about confidence as confident in having the answer. And I like how you say it, confident in not having an answer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we learn that here. I mean, we've been in classes together, and you get ministers from all different type of denominations, all different type of credentials and accolades and sizes of churches they work with, different sizes within the cities, different parts of America, and we bring in all of these different experiences to a classroom where we're sitting and talking, and not feeling intimidated because I'm in a room with great minds, but feeling empowered to be like, it's okay to sit here and listen and absorb. It's okay to, when you do have something to say it. When you don't Don't try to plug yourself into a conversation when it's probably not meant for you to be in that. This opportunity right now is for you to listen.
Yeah.
And that's what happens with ministry, Lauren. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I can remember a day going to a home, and I mean, this family was distraught. And at first I was feeling kind of scared. Like, I don't want to be here.
Mm-hmm.
But just my training in the spirit of it was like, because of your title and what you've been called to do, you being here means more than what any words you can say. Just be present with this family.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, and I'm like, okay, cool. I'm here.
Yeah.
You know, I don't
Yeah,
have to
that's good
fix,
stuff.
you know, E = MC squared. I don't have to know it. You know,
Right.
I'm just here.
Yeah. Yeah, the power and the power of presence, the gift of presence. That's good stuff.
Yes.
So let's talk about some of the challenges that seminarians face, whether at Phillips or, you know, obviously some of those challenges are across the board, student loan debt, not as many jobs available. So do you want to talk about kind of what are some of the challenges you see and Phillips sees students facing and some of the ways that y'all are trying to help with that at Phillips?
Yeah. So, I mean, you named probably the two biggest ones. I mean, which I'll give you some more, but just to hit on those two real quick. Student loan debt.
Yeah.
I did my MDiv here at Phillips at the time, taking out loans.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's available, it's accessible, but it's a lot. It's a lot to add that type of debt to one's life, knowing that for most people in this profession, is you are called, you are appointed, you do it because there's a great love.
Mm-hmm.
Most people, I think, don't pursue seminary and pursue ministry or some form of laity work or some form of nonprofit work because they feel that, one, I'm about to get to paper, I'm about to make a whole lot of money.
Right. Hope not anyway.
Right. To come and spend this amount of time in school, gain this type of debt. I'm gonna say gain, but incur this type of debt could be, that's a little, it's a little heavy.
Yeah.
And here at Phillips, I know for sure that we have tried to do our best to speak with students and explain to them before they get into it, what you are embarking on.
Mm-hmm.
That this is what we're trying to do. And Phillips offers 80%, 60% tuition scholarships. And part of it was because the great alum, also the great founder and former CEO of Quick Trip, Chester Cadjo, felt with other leaders here at Phillips years ago before I was even thought of to come here, but felt that for those who are coming to be ministers or be laity, to work and serve others, we want to try to make it as cost efficient as possible. Yeah. But even then, students take loans. So loans come big. In Phillips, we try to, the business department, financial aid department, try to explain to students, about what type of debt you are incurring when you take out so many loans, right? That's one of them. Lack of jobs. The seminary goes with the church, especially mainline denominations. As we see a decline in mainline denominations, we do see that at some points you see seminaries declining in role. ATS, which is the Association of Theological Schools, come out with reports, and we can see where mainline denominations are dropping for as people recording the amount of attendance, the churches, but also you see where seminaries also do struggle as well because numbers. Because a lot of times, if churches are growing, and then people are accepting callings or accepting a passion for their journey in life to be someone who can preach, teach in some form of spirituality, well, then we would hope that they want to be some type of formal education. Then that can send them to Phillips. But when people start to feel as if I don't see that, I'm just be blunt, I don't see the importance.
Yeah.
I can do this without going to school. Well, then formal education starts to decline.
Yeah.
Also, you see that what we have seen now also is personal circumstances, right?
Mm-hmm.
With people,
Mm-hmm.
people are going through certain things to where
Yeah.
if someone has been to school for a bachelor's degree,
Mm-hmm.
right, in accounting, and they felt that, you know what, I'm really connected with my church. I want to go and pursue a master's degree because we are a graduate level seminary.
Right.
So we offer no bachelor's degrees. So someone has a degree and they come here and they're like, well, I think I want to do it. But then life circumstances happen, something with personal or something with health wise. Yeah. And because we here at Phillips, what students encounter is we do distant learning as well as on campus. But we try to be as accommodating to students who are miles and miles away as we would be for someone who lives within Tulsa. Well, with that, some students run into issues with traveling because of health reasons, because of job reasons. So at times they feel like, I really want to come to school, Ulysses, but I'm not willing to give up my full-time job to come and be a full-time student.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a lot of second career students who are coming here, or bivocational students who are coming here, but their primary source of what would be income, resources is somewhere else. So that's just some of the issues that our students face. And then ultimately it's just the calling on your life.
Yeah.
Some students come and they feel this calling. They feel this purpose. But then things shift within their life. It could be at that church they're at.
Mm-hmm.
They could feel that either the church, the parishioners, or the regional staff, or the denomination itself is pushing them away from the church.
Yeah.
And that's all types of denominations. So,
yeah, let me follow up on that if I can, because
yes.
I'm just thinking back to my own time in seminary and how hard it was. I didn't have kids at that time, at least until the end. My daughter was born, 2012, July 2012.
Yes.
So I think I did the last year of seminary with my daughter. Like, if I can reminisce for a moment, like I'd put her in the bouncer and she'd just like bounce away while I'd be sitting reading and doing my postings. Right. But obviously, it was very hard on the family. I know my wife, I know at times it was like, oh my goodness, Lauren, why are you doing this? And I know, getting time off work, those things you mentioned. And then I appreciate your talk about, I imagine there does come for most students probably some kind of, I don't want to say crisis of faith, but some kind of crisis where they're like, what have I signed up for? How do y'all kind of work with students there who are like you said, like something changes at their church or their denomination or whatever, and they're like, what am I getting myself into? Like, how do you support folks with that?
So one, that's delicate. And the reason why I say that is because at times I can feel a level of passion for a person. Like, you can do this.
Yeah.
I've been through it. I've seen other people come through it. But it really comes down to this person, this individual person's family, and what they are going through and what they can handle.
Mm-hmm.
So my whole thing, and I tell all, prospective students, current students, that, yes, I want to see Phillips thrive. As a recruiter, I aggressively recruit. I live to recruit. I love to recruit.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, I have to see each individual person. So the best thing I do is when someone comes to me in this type of situation, I want to acknowledge that, one, I see you and I see your situation. And because of this situation, it may be best for you to take a break from school.
Yeah.
Or it may be best for you to shift some things within your life, maybe become a little more organized, a little more determined. But I find a way to see them and focus on what they're going through and then try to help them figure out what they need to do. And the reason why I do that, because I tell them, I don't want you up at 12 o'clock at night writing the paper, thinking about me and feeling like, well, he encouraged me to do this. Now I'm stuck writing this paper at 12. It was due at 11. I'm still writing it, and I got 2 more pages to go.
Yeah.
And like you say, my wife or husband or my partner is in bed, comfortably sleeping. The kids are asleep. I'm here doing it. So when that happens, I want you to understand that, you know what, I decided it. Yeah. Ulysses he opened up point A, point B, point C. But at the end of the day, I decided this is where I want to be. So one, I want them to see that I see them, and also help them to where they reinforce their decision on why they are doing this and why they want to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Let's broaden this out a little bit.
Okay.
Where do you think, and maybe not in you, where do you think Phil, or in your discussions at Phillips with the folks there, like where do y'all think theological education is headed?
So I'm kind of on a seesaw with this, because at times I feel that it's declining. But for some reason, I feel like if we hold on long enough, that sometimes things in life come full circle, that things come back.
Yeah.
I think when you look at theological education, now before it does, I think, unfortunately, some seminaries who may not have the resources to survive,
right,
I don't want to say die, but may have to close.
Right.
May close.
Right.
But those who have the resources to stay open, I think we're going to see an increase in numbers. Because I think at one point, just through our history, we've seen things circle back around in for the good.
Yeah.
Trends. And I think coming to seminary will circle back around, because now I know for Phillips, we're being pushed to look to see, okay, how do we educate the whole student?
Yeah.
How do we educate the whole community? It's not just about educating a pastor for MDiv through the Methodist, or a pastor for MDiv through the Disciples of Christ, but how we educate someone who may be focused on wanting to develop a garden in their community to feed those who are less fortunate. How do we educate that person? And then how do we make it to where this person does not come into this platform of education or theological study, but then leave with $100,000 over their head,
right,
which is loan debt.
Right.
And now it's hard to want to give your time.
Yeah.
Because everything is asking for your money.
Right.
So at times, I'll be honest with you, Lauren, I look at it and feel like, man, it's not looking good. It's like numbers are declining. But then at times I'm very encouraged. I'm very encouraged that I think things are going to come full circle. They're going to come back. I see many of my colleagues from different seminaries, recruiters and admission officers and enrollment management personnel who are really love what they do, and they're really trying to find ways to, with faculty and leadership, are finding ways to, what can we do to educate the whole person, the whole community, So I think more than anything, just to answer, let me stand on and step on it. I think seminary education is going to see a resurgence. It's going to see increase in numbers. Now, with that, we may have a decrease in seminaries. So is that really I don't know, but those schools who are able to stay open, I think, are going to see students come back.
Yeah.
At high numbers.
Yeah. One thing that I have appreciated about Phillips that y'all been doing for a while, when I think about, when we talk about these topics of, distance from campus and, being bivocational or second career, third career, and student debt, is that y'all offer non-degree certificate programs, which I've, full disclosure again, I've referred folks in my churches to. So talk about some of those programs and why those are a resource for people.
Yes. So here at Phillips, we have two types of programs that you can encounter, or two types of programs that you can pursue for a non-degree certificate programs. One of them is a non-credited program, which is our Center for Ministry and Lay Training. So once again, that's the CMLT, which we call Center for Ministry and Lay Training. And it's the non-traditional, not non-traditional, but non-credited. But it's a great program. And it's a great program for those who may be going through commission. It's under the leadership of our senior director, Leslie Lasher, to where her and her team of Emma Francis could help you get connected. It's 100% online. It's a great program. I've referred people from the church that I attend here in Tulsa who wanted to do something online, but they wanted to connect. So I've referred them there. They love it. They enjoy it. They feel that it gives them that foundation when it comes down to theological education in the Christian tradition. Also is faculty members from Phillips who teach many of those courses, and other faculty members or other educators from other places. Also here at Phillips, students are able to pursue a certificate program, which is credited.
Yeah.
However, it's a 15 to 16-hour program.
Okay. So
say, for instance, I would come in, say I want to do the biblical studies. So basically, I would take the intro to Old Testament, intro to New Testament, and then take the advanced part of that. So that's right there is at 3 hours. That's 12 hours. And then I would take another class, maybe another advancement class within either the Hebrew Bible or Hebrew Bible or the New Testament. And then that would get me to my 15, and I would have that certificate that I can use if I'm already in a place of active ministry, or if I'm trying to pursue a place. I can bring that to the leadership and say that I've done some type of training. Also, I can do the languages. Right. You could do Greek, or you could do the Hebrew languages for the 15, 16 hours, and then use that towards if you were looking to do a PhD program, or you want to go to a MDiv program here at Phillips or to another school. Those hours would transfer. In most schools who are ATS accredited will accept those hours, especially if you make a B or A. Right. In the class. So that's a couple of programs for students who may say, I don't want to do the traditional school. I don't want to have to come there and go to a 38-hour program, a 48-hour program, and I sure don't want to do an 81-hour program. Right. But I do want to do some continuing education. I still want to learn. We have the Center for Ministry and Lay Training, where it's things about 3 hours, not 3 hours, but 3 years, 3.5 years, maybe 4, where you get a certificate. Many ministers get commissioned with that certificate. So it's a legitimate piece of paper that shows that you have done some type of academic work. And then we have the credited certificate here at Phillips. So we have this. So please contact me if you're interested.
Yeah. So I've been saving kind of the thing that I'm most excited to talk about, and this is kind of a shameless plug, but hey, I'm going to reveal my bias here. Y'all are working on a on-campus initiative, which again seems pretty radical for what the conversation we've just had about, struggling seminaries and non-traditional students and student loan debt. Talk about kind of the mission and vision behind that project, and what's the details.
Yes. So you are talking about the lodge is what we're calling it here at Phillips. When you look at, if you've ever been on our campus, the South, where the Tabernacle Conference Center is, the TCC, we are going to build a lodge. And you say one thing about the debt of students and everything. So what we're trying to do is create this lodge. One is going to be a place that's going to help us create a vibrant community here on Phillips, which I think that is one of the greatest assets of Phillips. And I didn't say that earlier, but it's community. And because of our size, and students are able to come in through that formation, develop community. So we feel the lodge is going to create a vibrant community. It's going to be a place to provide inclusivity and support for students when they're here in town. A great number of our students are distant learners. Yeah. So when they come in town, they find through our help, we have a list of places that students can stay while they're here. And a lot of times we will talk to these places and let them know that students will be coming. But we do feel that by us building this lodge, now students will be able to commune, to have more community by being under the same roof, right near the school. So then you can just walk out from your room at this lodge across to the campus and go into your class, where you won't have to fly into Tulsa, drive into Tulsa, find a place to stay for the week for one of our concentrated courses or even one of our hybrid courses, and then commute back and forth. You'll be here on campus, but then in the evening times when classes are over, students will be able to go to an area which it's we're going to have a fitness room, a conference room, a shared kitchen and lodge area for students to go in and to commune together and to have some community and be with each other. We're looking at a labyrinth in the courtyard for students to have some spiritual practices. We're looking at here at Phillips, we've really been getting into art because we want to show art from multiple and different diverse artists. So we have an art gallery, a fitness room, and it's considered it's going to be a real spacious and modern design place. I think 30,000 square feet or more. I think we are looking at 25 rooms that students, if they come with a partner, they will have their own room, their own shower, own bathroom. So it'd be great. It's 2 stories, and we're looking forward to it. And with what you said, is going to be offered to students at a price that will be probably better than any other accommodations within the city.
Yeah.
So hopefully that can help students reduce the amount of pressure and debt that it takes for them to travel to Tulsa to engage the sacred text, to engage some text or even information on the curriculum that's helping them, grow in their respected area. But now they could probably breathe a little easier, knowing that when I call a week or 2 before classes, maybe more than that I have the opportunity to stay on campus basically, and don't have to worry about driving, don't have to worry about the conditions of the place that I'm unfamiliar with because I don't live in Tulsa that I'm coming to. That we would do our best to show you number great hospitality and accommodations. So once again, you got me excited, Lauren, because we are all excited about this lodge.
I'm excited because I know that was a challenge for me when I traveled down there, finding a place to stay, finding a place that was affordable, trying to figure out how to get back and forth to campus, and I know talking to you and others from the seminary, like it's not, you all want to do this not just to be convenient, but also to be a place of hospitality for those not like myself, non-white males, folks in the LGBT community and such who are not always welcome in other spaces. They're finding hospitality. So I think it's just such a great initiative, and I'm real excited about it, wishing it had existed, 10, 15 years ago.
Yes.
Well,
yes, I agree with you.
We're running long here, but I promised Ulysses I'd ask him one football question here that I'm kind of dying to ask. And we'll kind of frame this maybe from an organizational question. So Ulysses, I'm in Colorado, and obviously, the University of Colorado has been really interesting with the Coach Prime, Dion, taking the lead there. They had a real hot start, really been struggling of late. Things are kind of going sideways a little bit. And then like the Broncos, the other big team here in town, start off atrocious, like just horrible, and have now won 3 in a row. And people are starting to get a little bit of hope and juice beyond that team. So you've been around a lot of locker rooms and teams. So I want you to try to tie this into like an organization or a church. Like, what is it about, like, I mean, obviously success is kind of harder to measure in a church or organization, but what is it? What is that kind of like that juice or that momentum? Like, describe what that feels like and how that things can just, I don't know. Shift. I don't even know how they can shift like that.
Right. Shift. One, Lauren, I say when so much of what you do from the church, athletics, depends on others, sometimes you find that. You find the shift. Start off one way, then all of a sudden it changes. And you like, as a leader, as a participant, as someone who's going through the daily grind with everyone else, like, I'm doing everything the same. I'm consistent. But then there's some people around you that's not consistent, or they just not, for whatever reason, things for them are not clicking as well as things are clicking for you, or it could be you. And in my experience with both, it's the people's game. I've learned that when you are in the service business and when you deal a lot with people, each day, each week can change. The one thing that as a coach or even as a minister, say with the church, I've seen where churches grow. And then you're like, well, what's going on? And then what happens? Churches start to build new stuff, right? Because they think people like the new stuff. And you know what? It may bump attendance for a while, but then people tend to scatter again. So one of the biggest things I've seen that is one, consistency. As a leader, as someone who's participating, try to be as consistent, no matter where you are on a spectrum. If you're just a member, try to be consistent to where if the church calls upon you or the leader calls upon you, they know they can depend on you. Yeah. If you're the leader and people call upon you, be dependable. And the same thing with athletics. That preaching consistency. At least I know what we are going to get. Yeah. And that's how I live, even as a recruiter. I want to be consistent with any prospective student. As a member of the church and I serve, I want to be consistent. I want them to know that they can count on me. And you see where at times it's multiple people bought into the mission, the vision, the aim, all of those great things within the church. And then somehow life, we met new friends, or we've had a child, or one of our kids went to college. Yeah. So the dynamics of my household change. So now my attention may be driven somewhere else, or one, I just take a step back. And then you see where churches were thriving, and then for some reason it feels like the message has gotten a little, it plateaued, right? And then people start going other places. So that's why I practice prayer.
There you go.
God, please bless me to where I'm doing it right, because I don't understand people all the time. I'm still trying to understand myself a lot of times. So,
well, let's keep praying for the Broncos, because sports radio is a lot easier to listen to when they're doing okay.
And I would say this about your Broncos with Colorado. I would say this: the excitement. I've been on teams where we were losing, and I don't know how coaches did it, but every week they did their best to make you feel and believe that you could win the next one. So as a team, you start to play I want to win the next one. Yeah. And sometimes you don't. But I can tell you this, playing where the excitement that Colorado has received compared to what I've heard from other years. Yeah. Deion has brought a great atmosphere there. Yeah. With the Denver Broncos, I know Sean Payton came from the New Orleans Saints. I think Sean Payton is a top tier coach. Russell Wilson is a great player. It's just finding ways to build that chemistry. When I look at the NFL, every team has a star. Right. It's about relationships, and it's about the chemistry. It's not. Every team has a star. You get to draft. College is a little different. The cream gonna stay at the crop a lot of times, because I get to cherry pick the players I want. Right. College, NFL, if you do bad, you get the best players. College, if you do well, you win the national championship, I can go out and get the best players. So just restock my team. So I think it's good. I think Colorado in a couple of years, Denver and the University of Colorado is going to be a great place. I already hear that Colorado is a great place. So I'm looking forward to visiting one day.
Yeah, you said promise not to move here. We have too many people. As it is. Right. Well, let's take a quick break, and we'll come back with some closing questions. All right, we're back with Reverend Ulysses Allen, and appreciate that little extra football talk there. We could have we could probably do another 45 minutes on that, but we won't. Ulysses, you can take these closing questions as seriously or not as you'd like to, but if you're Pope for a day, what would that day look like for you?
We're going to have a parade.
Okay.
I want to be in the Pope Mobile. I want to be able to ride in the Pope Mobile. We're going to have a parade. I'm probably going to eat. I'm going to eat a little different than a Pope. I'm going to have a lot of seafood.
Okay.
A lot of Louisiana food.
Okay.
Yes. The Vatican is going to be full with gumbo, boudin, crackling, seafood. And we're going to have a parade. I don't know for what, but it's going to be a parade. I'm going to ride in that Pope Mobile.
Love it. What's a theologian or historical Christian figure you'd want to meet or bring back to life?
I got all this is about Jesus. We got to bring Jesus Christ back. If I have a chance, I want to bring Jesus Christ back and say, look, he's here.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, ask all the questions. Let's see, 2 fish, 5 loaves of bread. Let's go sit outside. We're going to have food. We good. So yes, that I want.
I don't think I've ever gotten that answer. Some interesting eschatology there too, I guess, right?
Yeah.
What do you think history will remember from our current time and place?
COVID-19. I think it shifted the world. COVID-19. It really did.
Yeah. We didn't even talk about COVID in seminary. What are your hopes for the future of Christianity?
I said it earlier, a resurgence in praise, worship, attendance, community, and direction.
Mm-hmm.
And I said that real quick, Lauren, because when I was growing up, the church was the place where the community found direction.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a lot of times I see that the church is looking for direction from the community. A lot of times I've seen where preachers will use secular things to make sure that, hey, I'm connected to the community. I didn't talk about, this TV show or this rapper or this celebrity or this situation where back in the day, we went to church for the direction.
Yeah. That's good.
So, yeah.
That's good. Where can people connect with you if they're like, hey, Ulysses, I want to go to seminary. I want to take a class. I want to talk more about Phillips. How can they get in touch with you?
Yeah. So you can reach me on my office phone, which is 918-270-6463. Also, I'm on Facebook, Ulysses D. Allen. It's my personal Facebook page, but if you inbox me or message me or even tag something and just say anything about Phillips, I will contact you, get back with you, and talk with you about what we do here at Phillips. My whole goal is to provide you with opportunities as you embark on the journey of your life.
Good. What's the website?
The website is www.ptstulsa.edu. That's www.ptstulsa.edu. I
think there's technically like 2 other PTSs, right? Because there's like a Pittsburgh Theological Seminary. There's obviously Princeton Theological Seminary.
Yes.
This is the best TTS, right? You'd say, right?
Yes. I would truly say.
All right.
Truly say.
Well, Ulysses, I appreciate your time.
In my heart.
Appreciate the conversation. I always leave folks with a word of peace. So may God's peace be with you.
Thank you very much. It was a blessing. I truly appreciate you.
Thanks for joining us on the Future Christian Podcast. To learn more about Lauren or the podcast, visit future-christian.com. One more thing before you go. Do us a favor and subscribe to the podcast. And if you're feeling especially generous, leave a review. It really helps us get the word out to more people about the podcast. The Future Christian Podcast is a production of Torn Curtain Arts and Resonate Media. Our episodes were mixed by Danny Burton, and the production support is provided by Paul Romig-Levitt. Thanks, and go in peace.